I need someone to do everything else. So it's not that clients don't like it. It's just about what kind of clients you are going for. I'm trying to duplicate the content of my competitors as huge views, but it doesn't work. I would say don't duplicate it. It's good that you're looking at competitors and seeing what's working for them. I would say use it as an inspiration, but you have to put your own like twist on it. Kind of like trying to really duplicate usually doesn't work. You have to be like more strategic, I guess. Like what makes you. You need to stand out from the competitors. So definitely take note of what's working and what's not working, and use it to help you get inspired for content. But yeah, usually like directly duplicating isn't the way. Data gathering is a good way of looking at it. Yeah, that's what I figured. Just like even my own account, like I just have shit engagement right now. It's been a struggle. So just changing that mindset on it. That's also what I'm telling my clients right now. Cause you know, some videos do super well, but it's a lot harder than it was 2 years ago. And I think people still have the expectation on TikTok that, oh, okay, TikTok's where I'm going to go viral. Like I'm going to hire someone to do my content and then I'll be viral in 2 days. Like that is not what this app is anymore. So I think we need to change the conversation. It's still a great place to put yourself out there. It's still a great place to grow an audience and a community. Is that community going to be 10,000 people overnight? No, but that's okay. Like that's like every other platform. We just have to like switch gears a little bit and think of it differently. Is there any truth in business not being able to use certain sounds due to copyright? Okay, so yes, if you have a business account on Instagram or TikTok, it's gonna limit your ability to use sounds. You're only gonna be able to use sounds that are for businesses, that are non-copyrighted, things like that. I've talked to a few people about this because it's a very gray area. Because if you are a business and you don't use a business account, you can obviously use any sound that you want. But could you get in some trouble for that? And from the data that I've gathered from talking to people, is basically the rule of thumb that's smart is if you're gonna run ads on any piece of content, make it a non-copyrighted sound. Absolutely, do not run ads on something that's not copyrighted. You can use non-copyrighted sounds. No one's really ever heard of cases of people actually getting in trouble, except for one like super big company one time got in trouble. But I think it's okay to use non-copyrighted sounds on TikTok when you're making videos for fun. Not everything is directly selling. You're just kind of curating a community and an audience. If you're doing something directly to sell and like do a paid ad with, then I would recommend using non-copyrighted. If you're someone who's like super paranoid about this kind of stuff and you're like, I don't want any risk, just don't use non-copyrighted sounds. So it's kind of up to you. It's a very big gray area, honestly. And I'm not the person to talk about it because I'm not like a lawyer or know that much about this, but I'm just saying from my experience of people that I've talked to, that's kind of the gist of what's going on. My engagement has gone down. Oh, me too. My engagement's been so up and down. That's weird because a few months ago, everyone was like, oh, my engagement's really down. And mine was really up. And I was like, this is strange. And now mine's way back down. And other people's are too. But I don't know. It doesn't really discourage me as much anymore just because I still see the number. I still see people going onto my Stan store. I still see all the leads coming in. I still see like the core people that are my customers and my like loyal followers are still there. And to me, that's what matters more than getting like millions of views all the time. It's not, I don't really see, if I get millions of views in a video versus like a few thousand, I don't really see a difference in my actual business. Like I don't see a difference in leads or sales or anything like that. So that's why I'm a strong believer in like just finding your people, no matter how big or small that group of people is, as long as you have your core people, the actual number, it's okay if you're only getting a few hundred, few thousand views, because it depends on your business. But personally for my business, I can only work with so many people at a time. I can't work with 100,000 people at a time. So why do I care about getting 100,000 views? Like it doesn't really duplicate. So yeah, depending on your business. Obviously going viral, usually like everyone would want that if it's in a good way, but we're at a different point in social media or in TikTok. Is your business dependent on social media? Mainly yes, which I know is like scary to say. I do have a large email list that I've been working on for the last like year and a bit, because I am terrified of something happening to my social media. So I do have a website now that's off of social media. So I'm glad I now have that to kind of like make a space. I have like a large email list and everything else is like Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and YouTube. So a lot of it, almost all of it's dependent on social media, which is scary. But I also now have a wait list of a lot of clients that if something happened to my social media, I could still reach out to my wait list of clients and they would know who I am because they've signed up for stuff before. So I do have a large customer base, or like wait list and client base and everything. But a lot of it is dependent on social media. Like I think most businesses these days, even huge companies, are largely based on social media. All marketing basically these days is done on social media. So yeah. I'm lucky if I get a few hundred views. Yeah, but that's okay because your follower count is 1,200. So that is where your account is at right now. And as it grows, those views will get more as your followers get more, but you're at a good place. Getting a few hundred views when your follower count's only 1,000, like you're good. You're good. People have these high expectations, like they are like failing if they're not in the millions of views, but the majority of people on social media don't get millions of views, but you can still build a business. You can still be successful. Is a business marketing degree worth it? Controversial maybe, but no. I just don't. I have my own marketing agency. I have been doing this for 2 years. Not once ever has anybody asked me for any sort of credentials if I have a degree or anything like that, which I don't. I never went to university. I never went to college. I have no experience in marketing. I'm just literally self-taught. And from other people that I talk to too, people that have gone to business school, people who haven't, the consensus is that at most, business school is good for networking. That's what I've heard from people who have done it. Or like the thing I got most out of going to university or college is just the networking aspect of it, not the actual degree. So it's not a bad thing. It's not going to hurt you to go get a degree. However, if you're in a position where you think that's going to make you go into a lot of debt and maybe set you back, that puts a strain on maybe a job you take straight out of school because you have this debt to pay off. Whereas if instead of spending money on school, you invest it in a startup or doing your own thing, being an entrepreneur and putting the money there, you might get ahead. So I think everyone's situation is very different. So it really depends on your situation. And I shouldn't be giving advice about this kind of thing. That's just my opinion. I feel lucky that I didn't go to school or university, so I have no student loans and I have no debt. I got to start at like not in the negative. So I think that was a big advantage for me. And with the internet these days and the connections you can make online, you don't necessarily have to go to college to network. You don't have to go there to find the information you need. I did okay in school. I'm not someone that probably could have gotten into like a really good university and stuff like that, and spent like a ton of money on it and then have to get a job that I hate to pay it off, and then I probably wouldn't have started my business. If I went to college, I would not have started my business because I would have felt a lot of pressure to straight out of college, get some corporate job or get some job that's going to pay for my student loans and make me feel like my degree was worth it, and I would get stuck in some job that I hate. That's my prediction of what would happen if I had gone to college versus working a bunch of random shit jobs that were like at restaurants and like trying to be a dancer and like all this stuff, and then falling into kind of starting this business that has been the best thing ever and I love so much. Of course, there's certain things, I'm not saying, oh, no one go to college, because there's so many careers that absolutely you need to go to college or university for. As a marketer, entrepreneur, you don't, in my opinion. You don't need a PhD to be successful. No, not in life, no. Do you need like a medical degree to be a doctor? Yes, I would recommend that. Or a lawyer or something like that. In entrepreneur world though, not really. 2 degrees and in corporate, started my own business to leave corporate. That is the story I hear from so many people. Anyone I know that's like gone to school and gotten degrees and is like so smart, they end up spending so many years at these corporate jobs that they hate and postponing starting their own business because they have to. Like it's really hard to go straight out of college and be like, I'm now gonna start a business. Like that's really hard to do unless you have an insane amount of money. So I totally understand why that's the case. But for people that didn't go to college, it's more like you almost have this like advantage of being able to like fail a little bit because you haven't spent all this time and money already, if that makes sense. I didn't go to college and I'm a creative director at a top 1% Shopify brand, leading all paid marketing creative initiatives. Amazing, like amazing. I think the times are just changing so much with the internet. I think before the internet, if you didn't go to business school, you have no connections. You have no way of knowing what the hell you're supposed to do. I would not have been able to do this without the internet. But since there's so many free resources, you can learn all of this stuff on the internet and make these connections on the internet, like for free. It's crazy, or very cheap. Like, I learned most of the stuff myself. I spent maximum like a few $100s on education starting my business, on like random little master classes here and there. Like, don't need a lot. I went to school and have learned so much more valuable work through my own agency development. Yeah, that's what I hear a lot of people say too that have gone to school, is like, it's cool that I went to school, but honestly, especially with marketing and social media, like, it's hard for me to believe, as a marketer, social media marketer myself, I'm learning something new every day. Social media is changing so much every day. Marketing is changing every day. How are you learning that in college when it's probably a course from like how many years ago, or the curriculums from how many years ago? You're gonna have to relearn so much every day anyways. Is it that important to have that base knowledge? I don't know. I offer conversions. A degree doesn't mean you'll make your client money. So true. I think that's why no clients ever ask me if I have a degree or to see my credentials or anything, because they just want to see that I know how to do social media, which my accounts prove. Sorry, oh my God, I'm like choking. How you went from working for one